New kids are the world's highest paid entertainers. New kids are the world's highest paid entertainers.
For the budding buying habits of youngsters, rock and roll represents a world of merchandising opportunities. By one estimate, children 6 to 14 years old control $6 billion in discretionary income.
In Australia, thousands of fans crowded the streets, screaming for New Kids on the Block. The New Kids played a concert in Sydney Tuesday night, and yesterday were mobbed en route to Perth during their tour of Australia. Then some more adventurous New Kids fans followed them for a closer look. Other fans weren't so lucky.
I was this close from him and I couldn't get near. I was pressing so hard and it wouldn't press. And I missed it, a photo of him.
Young children today put undue pressure on parents. There's a great deal of demand that comes from young children today.
This man is almost single-handedly responsible for pressure on parents to buy New Kids on the Block merchandise. He's their manager and creator, Maurice Starr.
Well, the parents don't mind, because every parent want to keep their kid happy, wouldn't you? If it's too much, if it's taken away, food off the table or something like that, that's nothing that I'd want to see.
Certainly there's some degree of pressure, and it behooves the parent. I mean, obviously that's your job as a parent to be discriminating and decide this is a yes, this is a no, and then of course you have to live with the consequences of a no.
Making other people's stars is now the General's mission.
Some things take off a little bit quicker than others. But I think, you know, if you stick to anything, I think eventually it's going to happen. And it's been happening for me.
In the meantime, Starr campaigns on the teen idol front, finding what he hopes will be his next New Kids in his own backyard. His son, Maurice Jr., teams with 2 other youngsters in Perfect Gentlemen.
He'd been asking me for years if I want to be in a group, and I always said no. Then, that year, I just suddenly clicked. I just said yes.
To those critics who say Maurice Starr pulls all the strings behind marginally talented, cute young faces, another of his protégés, 17-year-old Rick West, says,
I think because I'm new at what I'm doing, you know, a lot of his advice is the right stuff to do.
The writer and producer of all his act's music, Starr can't resist a cameo in a Rick West music video.
I believe I can make you a star.
Maurice Starr, the General, marches on, his objective in sight to win the hearts and minds of America's young music fans. Mark Shearer, CNN Entertainment News, New York.
In December 1981, the boys entered a talent contest at the Strand Theater. First prize was $500 and a recording contract with 28-year-old singer turned producer Maurice Starr.
I had a vision, and I wanted to fulfill that vision. And that vision was to find a group like the Jackson 5.
He was the big Quincy Jones of the ghetto. You know, he was the guy to go see if you wanted to make a record in Boston. It was so crazy. It was such a big thing, and it was everyone's big moment, everyone's big break.
The boys came in second place, but the crowd's response to them was so explosive that Maurice invited them to come to his studio the following day.
That night I went and I wrote the song Candy Girl, resembling the song ABC by the Jackson 5.
He knew what to do. He had that vision, he had that style and that sound in his mind. I went to start to sing the song. And he was like, that's him. That's it. That's that voice right there.
Ralph had a voice that was distinct. It was very remarkable. It was just a great, magical match.
With Ralph installed as New Edition's lead singer, Maurice completed his quintet with 12-year-old Ronnie DeVoe. Candy Girl was recorded in a tiny Roxbury studio and released in March of 1983. And within weeks, it was #1 on the charts.
Candy Girl was such a big hit because they were so young. There was no one else like them.
It went like wildfire, and the kids were just going crazy everywhere we went.
The fans' response to their sweet lyrics was so overwhelming, New Edition had no idea that their ride was about to take them into a world beyond their wildest dreams. Their debut album, Candy Girl, had spawned 3 huge hits, including Popcorn Love, and the 5 Roxbury Renegades seemed destined for superstardom.
I mean, we had hit after hit after hit. Kids were just going crazy everywhere we went. As the record got bigger, I noticed that there was thousands of fans waiting for us, and it became a really big thing really fast.
We all enjoy singing, watching people perform, so we decided that we want to perform ourselves.
We only know one thing, we hot in Boston. Little did we know, we was hot all the way around the world.
In the summer of '83, the boys prepared for a national tour. It would be their first real taste of the world beyond the projects.
Big old tour bus pulled up to the project. People running out like ants, just wondering what the hell is going on. Wondering like, yo, is it a UFO on wheels?
We were able to travel, man, and do shows for people in different cities. You know, and that's deep for a young man that's in school.
That first tour was great. They loved seeing the girls streaming and going crazy for them.
LA, Birmingham, Alabama, Mississippi. We thought we was the Jacksons.
It started happening in 1983 when New Edition took off. Starr had discovered them, written and produced their music. So it hurt when suddenly he was relieved of his command. New Edition dumped Starr. His counterattack was triggered by an over-the-counter observation.
I noticed that the merchandise for New Edition wasn't really selling to white kids, but it was selling to black. So I figured the ultimate would be a teen white act. And that's when I came up with the idea of New Kids on the Block.
In 1986, a fresh boy band burst onto the bubblegum scene and chewed straight into New Edition's audience. The brainchild of one-time manager Maurice Starr, the all-white New Kids on the Block had everything from slicker marketing to their own collectible dolls.
They doing their songs and hanging tough, hanging tough. I be like, what the?
We're up. They're the white New Edition. Period.
I think if New Edition was white, they would have definitely been just as big, if not bigger, than New Kids on the Block.
Damn, man. $800 million in T-shirts and stuff, man. Damn, doll babies and underwears and blankets and like, damn, man, why we don't got none of that?
We ain't gonna give anybody any slack. And to have Maurice involved as well. You know, I mean, I'm like, man, what happened?
With New Kids, I mean, you couldn't go wrong. I mean, we had over 4,000 products out there, different products, and everything was selling.
New Kids sleeping bag, New Kids phone, New Kids dolls, New Kids Walkman, New Kids puzzles, New Kids tapes, New Kids books, New Kids videos.
Everything was selling, everything. So you couldn't go wrong. I mean, you could say a sock, a pencil with a piece of dirt on it. You know, a towel from underarm deodorant. I mean, anything was selling.
Now, Brian Leary, Jane Hamden, Ed Harding, and Mark Rosenthal, bringing a world of news to New England. This is News Center 5.
Boston's most successful pop music producer is spinning into the record business. New Kids on the Block producer Maurice Starr today launched a record label called Boston International Records, a new division of Disney Records. The label will be headquartered in Roxbury and will be devoted to cultivating and producing local singers and bands, including the Boston group called Classic Example.
It would all happen at the World Trade Center in Boston, Massachusetts.
Maurice Starr would promote a record release party that would draw over 20,000 people and fill 4 auditoriums.
Starr is hoping to repeat the huge success of New Kids on the Block. The latest issue of Forbes lists them as the richest entertainers in the country, grossing $115 million in 1990 and in 1991.
Maurice Starr's relationship with Disney would produce 2 blockbuster film soundtracks. The first, a film called South Central, featuring Maurice Starr's latest discovery, Classic Example.
It's a new beginning, and start again together, you and I.
The next platinum soundtrack album that Maurice would produce for Disney would feature another one of his discoveries called Lady Soul. The movie would feature Whoopi Goldberg. It would be called Sister Act. While at Disney, Maurice would take on the legend of legends, Frank Sinatra. Maurice would travel cross-country with Frank and work on what would be Frank's very last album. Those moments would be unforgettable. For Maurice Starr's next discovery, a gospel group out of Atlanta, Georgia called 5 Young Men, he would use Showtime's championship boxing match between champion Evander Holyfield and challenger Von Bean. 72,000 people would be in attendance, with more than 200 million watching all around the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we present our featured bout of the evening, at this time I'd like to ask you to rise for the singing of our national anthem. To lead us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the microphone Maurice Starr's latest discovery. Please welcome Atlanta's own loud recording artists, introducing 5 Young Men.
Boxing promoter Don King had asked Ray Charles to sing the national anthem, but for this night, it would not be. This night belonged to the boys from Atlanta, Georgia, 5 Young Men.
So proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight hang ill o'er the ramparts we fought, were so streaming, and the rockets ring glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the great.
You know, he was the guy to go see if you wanted to make a record in Boston.